is the future of media, new consumption experiences, new ad units, and new monetization. And my friend Andrew Cleland is going to moderate this. We've got 3 spectacular panelists. Guys, come on up. You'll do some introductions, and we'll get started. Thank you all very much. Welcome to Media Technology Summit 2015.
Hello, everyone. Is this mic on? Can you hear me okay? Okay. My name is Andrew Cleland. I'm a partner with Comcast Ventures. I got the pleasure of moderating the first panel of what I think will be a truly excellent event over the next couple of days. The title of the panel is The Future of Media. It's a big topic. We have 20 minutes in which to cover it. I think we're going to be taking advantage of Shelley's acceleration theorem here. We'll dive straight in, maybe with the introduction of my fellow panelists here. So Doug, you want to start us off?
Sure. My name is Doug Zawatz, head of North America Digital Media and advertising at Under Armour. My group's focus as part of the Under Armour Connected Fitness group is to continue to grow and scale our connected fitness platform. I came over in 2013 through an acquisition of MapMyFitness, and since then we've acquired 2 other companies, Endomondo and MyFitnessPal. Collectively, we're 143 million registered users. It's an open platform, and our core differentiator is that we are device agnostic, and we are positioning ourselves to be the center of the wearables connected fitness space from a data perspective. So we connect with over 400 different devices, predominantly free health and fitness apps, and as Shelley mentioned, mobile is the center of our universe. But what we're doing that's unique and interesting is we're taking a master brand like Under Armour, whose heritage is in apparel and footwear, and quickly, I don't want to say pivoting, but evolving what we're doing to help athletes on all levels through data, through innovation. And bringing together the brick and mortar world or the supply chain universe with the digital universe to do something that's really never been done before, giving a single view end to end of this consumer. So we're calling it connected fitness, health and fitness, but really it's about connected lifestyle and connected consumerism.
Thanks, Doug. I'm Dave Madden. I'm with Electronic Arts. Also, you may know of as EA. If we have anybody in the room as teenagers or maybe college kids, you might know some of our games like Madden. No relation to me, but Madden is our NFL game. FIFA, very popular game and worldwide. Games like NHL. And we have a big game coming out later this year, Star Wars Battlefront, so very highly anticipated. So what I do for Electronic Arts and what we focus on in media solutions is really delighting and enhancing our gameplay experience through brand partnerships and advertising. And so that'll be a little bit of the theme I'll talk about today. But the idea is that brands and advertisers... I'll try another mic. How's that? Okay, how's that? Oh, that's much better. The brands and advertising are really evolving to the point where they make experiences better. And gaming is probably on the cutting edge of advertising and brands improving player experience and user media experience. We'll talk a bit about that later today. Thanks.
Thanks for that. My name is Adam Singola. Thanks for having me. I'm the founder and CEO at Taboola. What we do, we connect people with information they may like and never. If you read an article on the web, I'm sure you've seen us before. We usually have recommendations at the bottom of the article suggesting more content you may like, or at the end of the video or on the homepage. I started the company 8 years ago because I couldn't find anything to watch on TV, and I thought that I should not be looking for TV shows. TV shows should be looking for me. And we envision a future that's personalized in a world of one. So looking forward to a good conversation today.
Great. So it's a huge topic, probably benefits from some specific questions. Maybe Dave, we'll start with you. Can you rank order for us what you think are going to be the 3 most impactful ways that user consumption media is going to change over the next few years?
Sure. I think we're already seeing that device agnostic consumption of media has really happened in the video platform, and you're starting to see it happen across other entertainment mediums as well. So gaming, what's happened over the last few years with the advent of tablets and phones is just amazing. And the transition to the next-gen consoles has been a huge success, but on a global basis, the number of people playing games on their devices. If anybody in the room who has played Candy Crush, I'll just start with that. Not an EA game, so I'm not, okay, so Candy Crush, don't be embarrassed. You can raise your hands if you tried it once. At its peak, so the peak DAUs of that game were 127 million players a day in the game. Super Bowl is viewed by 100 million people worldwide. That game had every single day 127 million people playing it. It's just an absolute phenomenon what devices have done for media consumption. And I think you're going to continue to see, I think Apple had an announcement today about their new Apple TV and gaming. Straight to the TV platform. EA's announced a partnership with Comcast and the Xfinity box. So really, you're just looking at content being available across multiple devices, where just a couple years ago you never would have imagined that to be possible. I think that's really one of the big trends. The second thing I would say, and we're seeing this in real time, is that advertising is, I think all of us in the ad industry know that advertising has been an enabler and it subsidizes content. But the average consumer would never think of it that way. They'd think of, oh my God, now another ad interrupting my radio listening, or another TV spot interrupting the show I'm trying to watch. How annoying is this? Unless the ad was just absolutely enjoyable and amazing, and that's not always the case. The big transition that we're seeing, and it's going to continue, is that advertising is really going to become something that people look forward to and they want, because it's actually going to help them get further into their content or get more content or improve their content experience. So the big shift is going to be the user is going to be not only in control of their content platforms and how they view it or enjoy it, but also the advertising. And that's a major paradigm shift, because we really haven't seen until now a world where advertisers actually had to get the user's consent and involvement for them to be viewed or be engaged with. And that's the big trend going forward.
Great. Doug?
We'll just pass one. Or talk really loud.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Here, can I give that to you? Thanks. I'm gonna kick it off with data. Data's gonna be top of the list for us. It's all about first-party information, and we are really experiencing an evolution on how we can utilize this to serve the consumer. I've always said that version 1.0 in our world, in the connected fitness world, is about collecting this information, and to be ahead of the curve in that ecosystem, it was about who can collect the most and the fastest and the best. But I think version 2.0 starts to touch upon artificial intelligence and not just understanding the needs of your consumer, but being able to predict and anticipate the needs of your consumer. And so to me, that represents a massive opportunity for the advertiser to serve as that need fulfillment voice, if you will. And what we like to talk about with our brand partners is that brands are becoming motivators, coaches, trainers, the information and the knowledge sources. And so we've come at this from the angle of utility. The connected fitness space has really been about empowering individuals to collect information so that they can inform them about decisions to get the most from their health and their fitness. But now that they have all this information, it represents a massive need for authoritative content and thought leadership to make decisions on this data to get the most out of their training or their health goals, whatever it may be. And so what we're doing is we're partnering with brands to do exactly this, where we're providing them experiences, but the experiences are personalized and they're customized because we have these insights that are coming from all of the different health collection devices that they have. And of course, as we all know, what we have today is infinitely smaller than what's going to be out in the marketplace in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And so I'm sure, how many people in the room have some sort of wearable, a connected device, or know friends who have had them? So it's, I mean, a good portion, maybe 40% is probably, maybe even 50% if we're, depending on which room we're in. So we see that as a massive advertising opportunity in the future to really reshape what users are getting from these experiences and partnerships.
So, Adam, we have an explosion of devices, we have more rewarding advertising, we have data, we have personalized content. Do you agree with that list?
Yeah, so I think relating to that, when I think about what can really change the way people consume content, I think if history will repeat itself, in the past, search was one of the things that really changed humanity because it didn't matter who you were or where you lived. If you knew what you were looking for and you can type that into a search box, you can find it. And that changed the world, it changed education, it changed financial situation, it changed everything. And I think that we are the generation that's going through what I call, the fragmentation or the segmentation of the world. There's too much information out there. Things used to be much, much simpler. You used to have a big desktop screen on your desk. You used to read articles, and you used to get to content from search. And these days, in the morning you wake up, you use your iPhone, you go to work, you use your desktop, at night you have your tablet, you read, you watch, you flip through images, you have original content, user-generated content, syndicated content, distributed content, branded content, native content. And we're the same people. So and that's only today, so I think it's only gonna get worse on the one side because there's gonna be so much more for us to consume. On the flip side, I think that personalization engines will be a big part of how content consumption will happen. So I think that the future is a reverse version of the past, which is it's a reverse version of search. Instead of expecting people to go and find information, how can all of that information use data, wearables, and all these data points to find us? And I can share that at Taboola we serve now 10 billion recommendations, those thumbnails that you see on USA Today, Bloomberg, the Weather Channel, 10 billion every day. And we did a study to see what changed in the past 8 years since we started Taboola. And interestingly enough, we see these real interesting segments. I used to think that personalization is the difference between me and Andrew, good-looking man, not so much. But now I realize that personalization is really the difference between me and myself during the day and during the week. All the 5 versions of myself that I have. And we see the same cookie in the morning, and it's unbelievable. The same person in the morning would go to The Atlantic to read an article, and they will spend 3 or 4 articles to consume on the website. Same person goes to Facebook, sees thumbnails, goes back to The Atlantic, reads 3 paragraphs, and leaves. Statistically, we now serve our recommendations to 550 million people. Statistically, the same people that behave as human beings during the day, when they come from Facebook to a website, statistically 4 out of 5 people will never read the article. They'll read 3 paragraphs and leave. Same people that in the morning or from any other device would behave as regular human beings, not like zombies. So how come The Atlantic looks the same to someone coming from Facebook as it does to someone who is loyal and coming from the homepage? That makes no sense. So I think that it's a multi-decade vision and transition that we're going through that will have a lot of stuff to consume, and we're going to need something or someone that's going to help us curate our day-to-day experiences online and maybe even offline.
So let's play that out. If we play out those dynamics within video, let's say, so there's lots of data, we're being personalized to, we're being recommended to by artificial intelligence. On the supply side, uniqueness of content then seems paramount, right? Otherwise, it's just a commodity business. Do you guys have a point of view on the importance of distinct, unique content, ownership of that content? A, do you think ownership of unique content is critical? And B, do you think that in this world where we're all getting recommended different pieces of high-value content, that there's a golden age coming for content producers? Dave, do you want to start?
I'd be happy to start. I think there's an interesting thing going on. I kind of think of it like if you look at a U, and on one side of the U you've got commodity, and the other side of the U you've got intellectual property that's unique and highly valued. And in the middle, there's going to be a drop-off. There's going to be stuff that just falls. The middle players are going to disappear. The super valuable intellectual property that people seek out and consume like you're seeing original programming happening in video today. In the video game space, you're really seeing fewer, bigger, better titles that are gobbling up users' time. I think when Adam talks about all the content that people are consuming, that's exactly the point. There's this tidal wave of tidbit content that you can jump in and out of. There's just so much information on any topic hitting you through all your different venues that you might see that content today, that space becomes a little bit more the commodity, if you will. Not to say that there's not tremendous usage and demand against that, but where it gets really difficult for brands to connect with consumers and build relationships is where intellectual property comes in. And imagine, if you will, a game like Madden, which is our NFL game, where there's broadcasts every weekend of NFL with official marketing partners who can be involved with those TV broadcasts and integrate into those experiences on TV. But there's a whole generation of consumers that are, let's say, ages 12 through 24 that aren't watching Sunday football necessarily as much, but they are sitting on a couch playing football. And how do you mirror that experience and that pristine experience, if you will, that brands want to be part of? And so those opportunities are rare. We happen to be lucky enough to have the Madden NFL game where we can mirror that experience and build brands in a way that they would be in a broadcast. But there's only one Madden. And so I think that the separation is that there's so much stuff out there, so much opportunity for consumers to look at every piece of content from all their devices all day, all night, but it then really puts on a pedestal the need to have stuff that's separated, that's super valuable and rich, and gets that deeper relationship engagement with the consumer.
We haven't talked so much about the bleeding edge. If we think about some of the things that we might have raised as a panel, like augmented reality or virtual reality or haptics and wearables and physical feedback of media experiences, Doug, is your business thinking about that? Is that something that you think is going to appear in the next few years?
In terms of augmented reality, I think the way we're not there yet. I mean, especially on our platform, but I do think that the idea between getting the participant closer to a spectator type experience is something interesting. So we've approached it in a virtual sense through things like virtual fitness challenges, virtual participation, being able to compare yourself through data to others around you and globally. So I do think that we're definitely in the early days of getting into augmented types of experiences. And I think ultimately those are the types of experiences that we have to deliver back to the consumers as an advertiser. And it goes back to this concept, and I think Adam was kind of hitting on that, where you have the same consumer but different behaviors throughout the day, particularly when it deals with the type of content they're consuming and how they're consuming it. And what that really is saying is that we have to be focused on real-time advertising, real-time contextual advertising. And when we say contextual, it has to really be about the moment. It has to be about the need or what the behavior is or the activity or really the mindset. And we're getting into mindset types of advertising opportunities. And I think those are the ones that are going to be the most impactful and really what we have to do to deliver value to arguably the most demanding consumer marketplace globally we've ever had, right? And so, of course, it's going to get even more demanding as the years go on. So I think that's one important thing. And one note that I wanted to add that Dave was talking about, just in terms of content, it doesn't sound super sexy, but I do think there's going to be this. I do think there's going to be a complete revolution for content. I think it's the version 2.0 in the sense that content informs and utility empowers, but I think together the narrative on top of the utility is going to provide the most impactful consumer experience going forward. So I think the utility and the content now are finding that they need each other more than ever. And if it's put in the right place, again, in a real-time fashion, serving the needs of that end user, I think that's where the winners are going to reside. Do you want to? Yeah.
I think that what's unique about our times when it comes to the content business versus maybe 5 or 10 years ago is that the pipes are now available, right? So if you're now in the content business And in the past, you had a hope as a strategy whereby you thought if I create the best content, hopefully someone will consume it. Now between social to in the different types of social and discovery platforms and publishing business and exchange business, you can actually spend time and efforts on, I keep saying that, content is king only if there's a kingdom and audience. So you can actually work on the second part, which is building the audience. And I think you have some really amazing examples out there. Look at companies like American Express, who is in the credit card business. So they could show you a picture of a green, gold, silver, black credit card and hope you'll become a client. Or they can launch open forum and write 5,000 articles about how should small businesses manage cash flow and tips and advice. No American Express, no money, just value. Just come and enjoy and get what you need to get to run your business. And over time, maybe you trust us, maybe there's credibility, maybe you become a client. Look at Netflix and House of Cards. Is House of Cards a great show, or is it one of the best subscription engines you've seen in the past 20 years? Because it got them 2 million subscribers, and let's say it's $100 lifetime value, it's about $200 million in revenue, and the show cost $100 million. So what is House of Cards really? So I think content can now serve as an interesting full purchase funnel touch point. You can write a story to get someone aware, to consider buying your product, actually buy it, and even keep them loyal. And that did not exist when the pipes were not ready, and you couldn't reach America with your content.
Dave, we got about 3 minutes left. Why don't you list out for us all of EA's deepest virtual reality secrets?
Well, first I'll ask the room, has anybody worn a virtual reality headset? Has anybody put one on? And pretty wild experience, isn't it? And if you think about video gaming, you're really suspending reality when you play video games. There's a sense of fantasy. I'm Messi and I'm going to score the winning goal, or I'm in a 3D dragon environment and I'm battling with a sword, and you lose perspective on what's going on around you when you play these games. Now imagine, doing that in a fully immersive 3D world. And we've had these headsets on. Almost everybody in the room has tried them on. You experience stuff that just blows your mind. So I think it's early in gaming. I think there's applications.
Is it years away for EA?
We haven't. I don't think we've disclosed where we're at on it, but I think it's a very interesting space overall. But I also think there'll be a lot of spaces outside of gaming as well where it's applicable.
Actually, so let me follow up on that. I see lots of industrial applications. I clearly see gaming. What do you think the other main applications for consumers are besides gaming and entertainment?
Well, I've heard other entertainment formats that have gotten some press lately. We're in Vegas, so, but I'd ask. Yeah. I'd ask the other panelists what they think.
All right. I think we've got time for one last question.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, pleasure. Adam, let's flip it. We've talked a lot about the publishing side. There are actually many CMOs in the room. They're looking at a very fragmented environment. It's incredibly complex. Any recommendations for them about tools that they need to think about, team building that they need to do in order to address this new world?
Yeah, I have 45 seconds. So I think that the ones that I've seen at Taboola are brands are able to spend over $10 million a year with us, which is the beginning of something that hopefully one day will become big, because it's still native advertising and content economy is still relatively a smaller business in comparison to search and display. But what gets people to really succeed with us is when they're able to attach some business model to a content consumption experience. So what does success look like? If someone signed up to my newsletter, so when Shelly sends me his content on the daily email, it's really good. I sign up to stuff. That's success. If I share it, it's success. If I come back, if it's successful. So, and then if you're able to attach these different types of events when I consume content to how you run your business, and attach some sort of CPA even metrics to it. I know it's funny to say CPA around content consumption, but if you're able to do it, you can really be a big content creator and content distributor. And going back to American Express and Netflix, I think those are really good examples of, let me show you a few teasers of the show, and if I get your email and I get your subscription, over time you become a client. And I used content as an ambassador. So my only advice is look at different things that happen while people consume content, attach them to the business model that you have, and look for scale.
Great. All right, I think that's it. Thanks to our panelists.
You guys are fantastic. Thank you so very, very much. Outstanding job. Thank you so much. Adam, Dave, thank you so much. Okay, a couple things. See where they say reserved for speakers? Not really true. So anybody who wants to come down and sit in front, be like front of the class and let the speaker stare right at you, you're welcome to do that. Our next, I'm vamping a little bit so that we can get you plugged in. Are you plugged in? Someone took her phone away. Someone give me a high sign. And so how many people here know what Meerkat is? How many people know what Periscope is? So you know that you're both the same, yeah, obviously. Okay. So I had the craziest experience of my whole life just when all this was happening, in the very beginning. Was Easter Sunday of this past Easter Sunday. And in New York City, if you happen to live in New York City or visit New York City on Easter Sunday, there's the Easter Parade. It's kind of a big thing. People get dressed up in their Easter finest, or in this case, crazy costumes with insane hats that really defy description. And I thought, what a perfect time for a Meerkat moment. And so I just walked down Fifth Avenue, just sort of narrating the insanity. And thousands of Twitter interactions later, I thought to myself, this is a new era. Why don't we hear a little bit about it from Kimberly Kalb, who's with Meerkat.
Hi, I'm Kimberly. I'm going to be a little bit tethered to the podium because, ironically, I have to stream this from my phone, and we need to be on the podium for that. So I'm Kimberly. It's nice to meet you. I'm from Meerkat, and I'm here today to talk to you about the future of live streaming. So show of hands, how many of you have gone live? Oh, that's way more than I was expecting. But so we're actually going to go live today so I can really show you what this is all about. So you open the Meerkat app, and Meerkat itself is content distribution and production all in the palm of your hand. It's zero cost. You open your phone and you're streaming. So say you open your phone, you're really interested in, you're not sure what you want to stream about, so you can scroll through the hashtags up here at the top and see what's live, see what other people are streaming about right now. So as you see, there's all different streams. You could think about what you want to talk about. You could get some inspiration. You could even enter a stream and know what other people are saying. So this is Victoria. I can go into her stream. I can like it. I can restream it. I can give her, my love. She's talking about how to take the perfect selfie. So Meerkat is live. It's completely live. There's no rewatching. There's no watching later. She's just live talking about how she takes selfies. And she, maybe she knows we're here, maybe not. I can give her a high five. I can tell her I love this content, and my avatar up at the top flips. So as you see, your content and your viewers are directly over the top of your content. They're there live in the moment. So if we're ready, we're going to go live here from where we are. I actually scheduled a stream, which is a feature unique to Meerkat, meaning that you can say, in advance of what we're doing, I'm going to tell people when I'm going to be live. So I chose an image, I titled my stream, and I shared that out to my social networks. So my followers can then subscribe in-app, they can subscribe online, they can share it to their networks. There's a way for them to know this is coming. So is everyone ready? So we're going to stream now. So give the Wi-Fi a second here. We've tested it, but so now we're all live. Everyone say hello. You can see yourself on Meerkat. So I'll flip the camera around to me, but I want you guys to understand the participation elements of Meerkat and what this all means. So as we're getting started, you can see we have some people joining. So in terms of participation, Meerkat is really the only place, this live streaming, where you can interact directly with your audience. It's the most human interaction possible. You can see you have comments, people are tweeting those comments, they're liking, they're restreaming this. There's so many different opportunities to interact with your audience. So you can see I can click on someone up at the top and I see who they are. If I'm following them, I can reply to them, I can invite them to do things. We can see we're getting a comment, "What's up, Vegas?" So we're saying hello. We can also, share a photo. So this is what we call show and tell. So, we're in Vegas. So I decided maybe I would gamble earlier with one of my friends. See her in the background. She was really excited for our picture. So I put that picture away. And so now, now again, you're seeing as people are joining the stream, more and more people are joining the stream. They're they're getting excited. They're here. I could interact with all my comments. So I can scroll back and see all the different comments that are here. They don't go away. I know who's here. I know what they've said, when they've said it. And people are giving us different emojis. They're so excited to be here. So I could even select someone that I'd like to invite in. Let's see who we want to invite in. So you can go through everyone. And this is hopefully the most interesting. Well, let's see. I guess we're going to have to invite someone from Meerkat in here. So I'm going to invite her to Cameo. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to send this invitation right now. And she's going to get an invitation to Cameo into my stream. So I don't know if you guys know what that means. See, we're still getting a lot of comments, and hopefully this works with the Wi-Fi. So now we're going to get a Cameo appearance by Tiffy. Hopefully. Hopefully this Wi-Fi here is not the best. But essentially what this means is I've handed over my stream to her, and she will hopefully be able to come in and take over. So what that means is that I'm taking a fan and giving them the ability to completely take over my stream.
I'm so excited. Thank you for cameoing me in. I'm Tiffy Diamond. I'm an avid Meerkat viewer and streamer. I love everything about Meerkat, especially the ability to connect with people around the world and build real-life relationships. It's amazing. In terms of streaming, I do the first puppet stream on Meerkat. I do donuts. I do film chat. So as you can see, the creative possibilities are endless. So you have so many opportunities. I've seen people give birth on Meerkat. I've seen people get engaged, skydive. It's a wonderful community, and I'm so happy to be a part of it and make real-life friends that I see more than my friends in real life, actually. I see Meerkat people every day, and I love it. So thank you so much for...
So I stopped her because we're running quickly at a time, but I have full control. And just so you guys know, as the broadcaster in this ephemeral world, you have control over your content. You can stop someone, you can bring them in, you can pick someone that you're not liking and you can block them. You have total control of your content, so I just want you to know that in this world, this is your content. We're talking about the future of live streaming, but you guys are the content creators. People like Tiffy, people who are really the ones creating the content on their own. They're the content creators, and they're the future of live streaming. So I hope you'll take a cue from people in the room like the CW and NBC who have already started to enter into this space. And if you ever need to reach me, I'm Kimberly at meerkatapp.co, and you can always reach out and ask for help, and I can help you get into the live streaming world, and I think I'm just at my time limit. So thank you, and say bye to everyone.
Thank you so very, very much. Well done, well done. So everybody sign on to Meerkat right now. Forget that Periscope crap from Twitter. It's all Meerkat. Well done. So it is, it's interesting. This technology really fascinated me when it came out. And what fascinated me about it the most was that Pacquiao fight was that weekend. And there was where I was out of town at a hotel, and there was a version of the world where I could get hotel Wi-Fi to let me buy the Pacquiao pay-per-view, and it wasn't available on the hotel television, and I couldn't go see it. And all I had to do was go online, both on Meerkat and on Periscope, and type in Pacquiao, and somebody had just set their camera up, landscape, on a tripod in front of their pay-per-view, and I was watching every round, and it was like, there are other uses, aside from adult entertainment, for this, although I guess boxing is adult entertainment. All right, our next guest, is a keynote that I am so super excited about. In case you guys are not aware, Comcast, NBC, Universal owns everything. Okay, they really don't. But they're very, very large. And as goes Comcast, so goes a lot of things. And NBCU has done some of the most incredible work in my favorite subject, which is turning data into action. And so, with amazing pleasure, I welcome to the stage Linda Yaccarino, who is the chairman of Advertiser Sales and Client Partnerships at NBCU.
Sir,
I give to a microphone.
I have that.
You have a
just
you-
to back up.
okay. With two sides.
Okay. Well, we're in Vegas, but I don't know. Let me be clear. While Shelley thinks Comcast, NBC, Universal owns everything, apparently we don't own as much as we thought we were going to own. So I just want to get that out there. So.
Right, good point. So I have a list of questions that are banned that I'm not allowed to ask. I'm going to start with the first one, because there's no reason for me to ever even think about allowing you to ban questions. Let's see.
Stop it.
Well, all right. So I have a phrase that I love that came out of your group that is, data is more powerful in the presence of great content. What does that mean exactly?
It means when you are lucky enough to represent a lot of premium content like our company does, when you can match that content with the right actionable data, then there is no better marriage. So we talk a lot about at our company the unique design of it, where content meets data meets distribution. And that's really the content in the presence of great data. That's where that came from, because the unique assets of our company enable us to take a lot of data, but a lot of unique data that we have available, and innovate in the entire industry and make sure that we make that contextual connection between the data, the content, and the distribution.
So people push back constantly and say, yeah, but digital has better data, and TV has that Nielsen company, the N-word. So,
Oh, dear Lord, I can't believe you said that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, but in our case, Nielsen, is there anyone from Nielsen in the room? I always ask. Anyone from Nielsen in the room? I'm sorry you're not represented, Nielsen. I really wish you were. I will then only slightly Nielsen bash. People really feel like that's not accurate, although I could argue that personally, and I would. People argue that digital data is more accurate and that TV is in a no man's land, and yet you guys have had this interesting aggregation of every possible distribution platform. So when you look at TV advertising models now, in the context of all of the different distribution platforms, does Nielsen just become an additive data set? Is this, like, where are you guys with all that? I just want to understand where you guys are with all that.
I don't know if this is a talk or a therapy session, so we can talk about the state of measurement or data and its impact on ad models. So I think that's your question.
That is my question.
So the fact when people say digital has better data, I wouldn't necessarily say it's better data. I think it's different data, or data that's actionable in different ways. So over time, since the beginning of television time, data has always played a very important role in ad modeling, right? So back when it was program ratings, the change in consumer behavior with increased penetration or material penetration of the DVR, what measurement became was program ratings to commercial ratings and C3, as we still know it today. So that was almost a decade ago. Still wasn't enough back then, so your ad modeling or your guarantees could include supplemental guidance or guarantees, using MRI or IAG or a variety of things. So now for the last decade, we've been stalled, sadly stalled, with Nielsen, that media companies like NBC Universal had no other opportunity or no other alternative to say, hey, consumer behavior is so far out ahead of measurement. Nielsen, what are we going to do? So a decade of promises go by, and here we are still waiting for multi-platform measurement, right? And here we are as today, where you say, what does a C3 rating really tell you, the CMOs that are in the office? Does it really tell you How many people who are going to buy your product consume that premium video? So at companies like Comcast, NBC Universal, we say, you know, we kind of can't wait anymore. But I talk to my team a lot about, you know, a very simple analogy to if you're a packaged good maker or you make cereal in this room. Years ago, it used to be about the celebrity on the box of your cereal or the little toy or prize that was inside. But today, with the surfacing of data, it's about none of that. It's about the protein, it's about the fiber, it's about is it gluten-free or not. So consumer behavior has changed, and we have to approach the TV business or the video content in the same exact way. So new data has surfaced. So with the ad products that Comcast, NBC Universal, or some of our peer companies have brought to the marketplace, it's only to accelerate what we can't wait for anymore, which is the current currency to catch up with consumer behavior.
So, wow, okay, that's not what I expected you to say. That's fantastic. So, in following on from that, if I buy all that, and I could, because you said it, how would you then make TV more actionable to an advertiser? If you've created your own data sets and you've aggregated your own data that, because you couldn't get it from Nielsen, and we know you couldn't because nobody could get it from Nielsen. Nielsen hasn't really done it. Anyone from Nielsen in the room?
Double check.
Yeah, just double checking because I really
There's a
want there
guy
to be.
in the trench coat and nose glasses in the back
Yeah,
of the
that
room.
could be him.
I think
It's
that could
entirely
be.
possible. So, okay. So you've created a data set. You've created a currency around it that you can use. How does that help how does that help me, advertiser, use TV, and how do you make it more actionable? and measurable?
Well, first of all, we think we're probably in the early days of getting towards TV 2.0, let's call it, or the most current or sophisticated steps towards contemporizing data or measuring of premium video, right? If you most recently, whether it was Sir Martin Sorrell talking about the crisis in management, or my boss Steve Burke today at the Merrill Lynch conference talking about, the good news is more people are watching video today now than ever, particularly premium video. The unfortunate thing is that it's unmeasured, therefore unmonetizable, which doesn't make sense for anyone. The marketer I can't prove to the marketer that I can help them sell more sneakers or sell more cereal. And ultimately the consumer that is less able then to get the right spot via the right channel or platform at the right time. So that being said, we believe pretty strongly that a lot of new guarantees or metrics will emerge. So at our company, what we're able to guarantee is what I like to call the non-fat media plan. And that would be, we have the capability with Nielsen just being one data set input, right? So you have Comcast set-top box data, you have additional data from Nielsen, you have a bunch of other data sets or syndicated data sets, or we have then data sets that our customers that we have these relationships can guarantee that can take their media plan from last year, combine it or run it through our targeting platform, which is basically an optimizer or a sell-side optimizer for all of the NBC Universal networks and pieces of inventory, and say, we can target based on these behavioral attributes that you're asking us to do as an output of all the data sets, including viewing data, and get better, smarter, quicker about targeting your ads. Now, I said it a minute ago that we're kind of in the early days, because what we're really building for very, very quickly is a world where addressable television is how we do it and how we do it at scale. And that's, maybe next year's conference that we talk about.
What do you think are advertisers